back. I'm Eric Mitchell, and this is To The Point. We've got a great, awesome, terrific, wonderful guest for us today. We're going to jump in, and like I said at the beginning, we're going to be talking about your mindset and overcoming fear. A lot of that goes on, especially in 2020. I feel that this is a great topic for us to talk about because there's fear in your business and fear in your personal life as you don't know what's going on, and election 2020 doesn't make it any easier, folks. So let's welcome to the show today's first guest, the wonderful Kristel Bauer. Welcome back and welcome to the show. Kristel, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm in smoky Oregon. We're thankful that the smoke is leaving us. The fires are getting contained. I just hope, before we actually get started, I just want to say thank you to all the amazing first responders on the West Coast. They had an amazing job saving a lot. I mean, unfortunately, we did lose lives on the West Coast, but the fact that we're under 100 people have lost their lives. Lots of property lost, but a lot of lives saved. Amazing stories. Just these first responders, I mean, they haven't spent a lot of time with their family. And I think it's kind of a cool subject switch here, talking about spending time with family. Now, your big focus is talking about health and mindset, overcoming fear. And one of the things I liked about it is talking about how to attain success without sacrificing well-being. And it's a topic close to my heart because I see so many people on social media who love certain influencers, and they're good people. I'm not bashing on them because certain folks, they have this amazing work ethic because they're multimillionaires and they can hop on their private planes and fly everywhere. And everybody wants that life. They all want I want my own private plane. Little do they know it costs almost $1 million to keep that thing and fuel it whenever you want to do it. It's not free. It costs about $25,000 to fly one way to anywhere. So just so people understand, don't think that you're baller on a budget. Nope, trust me, that's $25,000 you don't get back. This belief that people need to work all the time and post about it. Like, hey, I'm working on a Saturday. Like, okay, why do you need to tell me? And two, why do you think people are so addicted to working and not paying attention to their family? I mean, you don't get this time back with your kids. You don't. They continue to get older, and you're going to end up when the clock runs out and they're 18 and walking out the door, heading off to college or wherever they're going, and all that time's gone where, you worked on a Saturday. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, this is a really good point. And I've seen so many people struggle with this, personally, professionally. And I worked in integrative psychiatry for quite a while, and I saw people who were extremely successful financially, but they were falling apart, in other areas of their lives, physically, emotionally, mentally. And I really feel like there's this attachment to achievement. Like you get your fulfillment in certain cases when you reach that goal, or when you get that win, or that money comes in, or whatever it is. And a lot of people have lost that connection to what really brings fulfillment, and that comes on it's an inside job. It doesn't come from the external world. It's connection. It's doing things that really nourish you. It's taking care of yourself. And I think getting caught up in that like hustle culture, like you've got to hustle, you've got to keep working hard, you've got to be an overachiever. I think that starts at a young age. And I think in schools even, and I see college students who are staying up crazy late to cram for exams. And okay, if I do this, then I can get, the job that I want, or I can get to that next stage. And then it's always like the next stage, the next thing, and that validation of your worth then starts to come from those external achievements. So I think a lot of it comes down to the awareness of, okay, the satisfaction that I'll get from reaching that goal, it's only going to last like a moment, and then there's going to be a new goal. Like it doesn't end. It's always there. You're always going to have something else to work towards. So it's really about enjoying the journey and slowing down enough to really discover what makes you happy and to build those connections and to really nourish yourself.
Perfect. And that makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people don't realize, how important, we all get the side hustle, and we've had to do it never before in 2020 screaming side hustle. But it just seems to me you're right when it comes to how folks need to also focus on their family. It's so easy to get caught up in your work. And we know this, both of us as entrepreneurs and running your own business. It's easy to get caught up sitting at your desk on a Saturday or a Sunday. I mean, I'm a Sunday planner. I do have an hour I do set aside every Sunday. I've done it since I started, even in business, just even in corporate America, I used to do it, where you kind of set your day. I always like being ahead of the schedule on a Monday than behind. And secret, and I'm probably going to cough this up, anybody listening who works with me is going to be like, how does he do it? My secret is I schedule my Monday emails on Sunday. Like I write them all out and schedule them to all drop, because I don't like emailing people on Sundays. It's gross. It's like, but if I sit there for an hour, football season makes it easy, put my laptop in, fantasy's going, and send out some emails and schedule them to go out, and they drop in the morning, 8 a.m. Everybody gets an email from me on Monday morning, and then my emails are done, and I like that because then I can schedule out the rest of my week and not worry about it. But, it's interesting, the side hustle, the just working hard and, stressing about the little things and needing to tell me on social media that you're working hard. So let me ask you this one, and this one's come up, and it's just an interesting topic, and I'd love your thoughts. I've recently seen this thing, they call them third watch entrepreneurs. These are basically people who are working in corporate America who start jobs, careers, new opportunities, at their corporate job or whatever job they may be. I'm not a fan of that because I think if you're that person, you're doing it wrong. Number one, Mark Cuban famously calls those people wannapreneurs, but you're stealing from your current employer who's providing you, and there's no risk if you think about it. There's zero risk for anyone, and it's not a healthy mindset. I mean, to me, you're already setting yourself up for failure if you're so willing to be kind of, I'll use the word shady, to build your business while you're on somebody else's dime. That's theft. I mean, morally, you can't be like, I built this legitimately. No, you didn't. You took no risk. You were getting paid every 2 weeks. You have health care, no risk. If your job fails, if your business has a bad month, you're fine because your corporate job just keeps you safe. What's your thoughts on people who are doing this and keeping their mindset positive while trying to launch a business as an entrepreneur? Because, I mean, part of success is setting yourself up for success, not setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, that's very true. I really am a believer that mindset is everything. And for me, a lot of it came down to what am I passionate about? What are my core values? Really getting clear on my why. And that's actually why I decided to launch my business. I left clinical practice because I wanted to try and share my message on a wider scale. But I don't feel like right now, honestly, I don't feel like I'm working. Like I feel like I'm following my passion, and that makes it more digestible when things don't go the way that I want them to go. Because there are going to be setbacks and there are going to be losses, and things don't always work out the way that, we dream that they will. And especially if you're, starting a new business and you're trying to grow, there are going to be rejections and those things are going to happen. So really, for me, it's about coming back to my why. Why am I doing this? What am I passionate about? And I'm constantly checking in with myself. Like, okay, does this feel right? Did I get a little bit lost here? And when I first started, I was just I'm still on my phone too much. That's still something that I'm working on. Like, because I'm still doing my own social media. So it's this constant like check-in of, okay, am I getting a little bit veered off course? Do I need to recenter? Do I need to reassess where I'm at? Where's my head at? And I think that's a continual process for anyone that has their own business, is really making sure you're doing things that are in alignment with your purpose, with your values. And some people, I don't think that they're really clear on that. Like they might not even know what their core values are.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So let's kind of jump on to some other things. Now, you talk about something called integrative medicine. And before we go to break, got like 2 minutes here. Tell us a little bit about that. And we come back, when we come back from break, I want to jump in and talk about your podcast, My Live Greatly Podcast. Did I say that right, or did I butcher that? I knew I was close.
It's okay.
Just watch me murder words. That's what I do. But tell us a little bit before we go to break. What is integrative medicine? I like that.
Yeah, for sure. So, I am an integrative medicine fellow. So I don't know if people have heard of Dr. Andrew Weil, but he's pretty visible in that integrative medicine world. And he has a fellowship through the University of Arizona. And I've been really passionate about more like holistic health, of looking more to all the different things that contribute to your well-being. So I was practicing in more kind of Western medicine for quite a while, and I felt like a lot of it was you're treating symptoms. Like people come in and it's like, okay, here's your prescription, here's how we're going to treat this problem. But integrative medicine is looking more at the whole picture. How do your relationships impact, the way you're feeling or your symptoms? How about your nutrition and your sleep patterns? And it also looks at things like acupuncture. It incorporates everything that goes into a person's well-being. So I just felt like it was a really great way to really have more tools to help people.
Awesome. I love that. So when we come back from the break, if you don't mind sticking around to come back from the break, we'd like to just, before you go, come back from the break and talk about your podcast. Tell us all about it. And real quick, we'll talk about your 8-week online course that you just launched or released. So we want to talk about that. We come back. And we're back. And I just want to say, apparently, I don't know how to read as the host of the show. So our guest name is Kristel Bauer, not Kristen, like you've heard me say earlier. And you probably are reading lower thirds and going, why is the host calling the guest by the wrong name? You're welcome. That's called, I fell on my head a lot when I was in the Marine Corps in sports. That's what we'll blame. But so let's, just wanted to cover that real fast, that if you're reading the lower thirds and you're confused, that's what we're doing. So we've been talking with our guest, Kristel. Sorry, Kristel, I apologize. Kristel here, we've been talking about, mindset, and you have an amazing podcast. So tell the folks about your podcast. Obviously, before we go, I don't need to tell people, you're on probably every podcast platform that exists, Spotify, Apple, all. Those are the two big ones that I tell people to go to, because Spotify is absolutely killing it. It's actually my favorite because you don't have to download anything, so it saves room on your phone. So just tip of the day. So obviously your podcast is there, but tell folks a little bit about your podcast, what it does, and all that good stuff.
For sure. I started my podcast earlier this year, and it has been tons of fun. I've met some incredible people through it. I've had some really great guests. Kelly Munin-Gores from the Heal documentary was on there. Colleen Wacko-Cosio of Mind Body Green. I just had Jason Campbell from Mind Valley. So just a lot of really fun, interesting people. And then I do some on my own as well, sharing my insights. But really my goal is, again, like you had mentioned before, I really want people to realize that they don't have to sacrifice their well-being to attain success. So it's kind of a mix of talking about ways to nourish yourself, nourish your mind, sometimes like some holistic things, health-related things, but then also talking to people who are extremely successful. How do they attain their success? How do they maintain their health? How are they doing it in a way that is actually uplifting for them? So that's something that I'm really excited about sharing, and I share my own insights as well as an integrative medicine fellow and my experiences in time practicing as a PA in a lot of different fields.
Oh, that's awesome. So, and we have a little bit more time here. I want to talk about, so recently you released an 8-week online course to, I'm just reading this directly, just anybody thinks I'm just like really good at memorizing things. I'm not. 8-week online course to optimize well-being and performance. And I know you and I talked offline. I told you how much I love meditation. I've shared it on constant shows. I share it with all of our guests. I think it's one of the most incredible things. People usually, I either get, yay, that's awesome, or people are like, wow, a Marine that does meditation and yoga. And I'm like, you're duty darn right. It set my mind right. So tell us a little bit about your 8-week course and where folks can find out information to sign up and be part of it. Because I think that's also key, because part of making change is taking the step to make these changes and get your mindset right. You could be in the dumps about 2020 and be like, oh, you can have your pity party, but if you're still having your pity party, time to stop. Take this 8-week course. In 8 weeks, if my math does right, that puts us near the middle of the holidays. And then you'll be happy again, because naturally, Christmas should make everybody happy.
The 8-week course, we actually picked 8 weeks for a reason. So there's some good research that shows that after 8-week mindfulness programs, the MBSR programs, there were positive changes in the brain. So I pulled that thinking, okay, I want to incorporate all of my knowledge, everything that I've learned, because, working with professionals working in integrative psychiatry. I'm also a Reiki master, integrative medicine fellow, and entrepreneur, and kind of package it all for something digestible for people where they had a real potential for transformation. So I did a video for each day, and they're short videos because I think most people are busy, and I want it to be digestible. So it's about a 3 to 7 minute video you watch in the morning. And so there are 56 of those with the goal of after the 8 weeks really having true transformation in your well-being and really moving towards your dreams. So I'm really excited about that. And you can access it at www.livegreatly.online. And then my other website that has all of my services, because I also do speaking and I work with businesses and corporations and do seminars and packages and courses. And that's www.livegreatly.co.
Awesome, look at that. And that happens to also be your Instagram, because you could follow you over at Instagram at livegreatly_co if you're up there. And you can see it, because while you've been talking, we actually got that right. We even have your name, Kristel, on there, and it has your, so. Just because the host gets names wrong doesn't mean that the production team doesn't. Give Jordan and Marina some credit there. They're pretty good on that. They always correct me, or the guest corrects me that I screw up their names. One of the two. But it's been great having you on, Kristel. Look at me stressing the names. Like, Kristel, hey, there we go. We're going to say it over and over again because the show's over and you're going to be gone. That makes sense that I finally get it right. But I want to thank you for joining us today. It's been great talking about mindset. Would love to have you back on soon. And talk about some different mindsets. I know one of the biggest things that's coming up and it's on a lot of people's minds is November 3rd. I guess there's an election taking place in America. We've been hearing about it for 4 years, so thank God it's gonna finally happen again. But the mindset, I know a lot of people are kind of getting beat down just talking about it, causing a lot of stress. So we'd love to invite you back and get your thoughts on how people can keep a positive mindset during what I believe the next 40 days is going to be very, very stressful in America for all of us. So I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much.